Incredible. What did I say? Oh, that was insane last night what just transpired. I am still in disbelief. I am still in disbelief over how that went. I mean, it wasn't that hard or difficult to predict, but still to actually see what I've been saying come in and what a lot of other people have been saying actually come into real life with Ilia Topuria finishing Charles Oliveira in the first round like that is just absolutely insane. The fight went so quick that I didn't even have to, like, I couldn't even register what just happened in front of my eyes, that was the result. That Topuria went through Charles Oliveira that quickly. I was ready to buckle down and get ready for a good fight. But Topuria, as I've been saying, backs up what he says. And he said he was finishing Charles in the first round and knocking him out at the face-off. He's like, Charles, the win's already mine. And he even made a dinner to celebrate the victory before he even fought. The confidence and aura is on another level. And once again, Ilia Topuria has delivered on what he said and is now the new undisputed lightweight champion of the world and a 2-division champion. The resume is one of the greatest we've seen by far, the best 3-win streak in the sport. KO'd 3 straight legends in Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira to remain undefeated, and was a former featherweight champion, and now is a lightweight champion. What just happened, bro? That card was also amazing, by the way. Honestly, a really great card. I know I had my complaints about it. That was just incredible, that card. I'm on cloud 9 right now. I'm on cloud 9. That was incredible. Yeah, just really, Topuria, I couldn't, I knew it. I kept on saying it. What people kept on saying is Charles doesn't have a chin. It's not going to hold up. When Topuria touches him, when he first connects, Charles Oliveira is going down. And that's exactly what you saw. Topuria, the first chance he got to connect on Charles Oliveira's chin, it was over for Charles. And honestly, how did Charles even bleed? I didn't even notice when Charles started bleeding. You see him and Topuria quickly go to the ground, and then all of a sudden Charles Oliveira's already bleeding. I'm like, did Topuria throw like a secret elbow I didn't see? But yeah, dude, I'm still trying to collect my thoughts from last night. Last night was incredible, just the way that ended. And we'll get into all the other fights also with Pantoja and Van. Honestly, I should have done that parlay. But Topuria, unbelievable. This guy is on a whole different level. And this guy's the next big superstar. It's so obvious. He's already the next Conor McGregor. The similarities, becoming 2 division champions at 28 years old or whatever. I don't know. I saw this post of all the similarities between them. Topuria is just, yeah, he's him. He is him. I really feel bad for Charles Oliveira. I did not want to see him go down like that. Like Topuria's been saying this entire time, he did not want to have to do it to Charles. But he's just trying to achieve his dreams, and it's his job. And Topuria, the way when he walked out, bro, it's so good when he walks out to the song, comes in there, and as you can see from this picture, he just looks significantly bigger in this lightweight fight compared to his featherweight days. The weight cut he seemed to be in a lot better of a state than when he was cutting weight for featherweight. And Topuria, it's insane. Who's beating this guy? Maybe Arman Tsarukyan. Honestly, I'm not gonna be completely naive, and say that Arman Tsarukyan, that he beats Arman, but because Arman is a much tougher fight than Charles. It was so clear to pick Topuria to KO Charles. Charles has no chin. He gets hit. He leaves too many openings. He trudges forward and he tries to get in the grill. And in the beginning, with the ground exchanges, when Oliveira had him by the heel, I got mad nervous. That he was about to do some kind of heel submission on Topuria. I'm like, no, it can't be like this quick. Then Topuria gets out of it. He brings it back up to the ground, giving Charles Oliveira a couple shots. Charles Oliveira is trying to stay with him. He said he wasn't going to back down. And then Charles Oliveira goes, and then Topuria, quick stomach shot or whatever. And then Rogan's and Oliveira, he's absorbing these shots. And then Topuria just goes in, and that famous hook right into Charles Oliveira, immediately unconscious. Topuria didn't even need that follow-up hammer fist, which he still connected on when Oliveira was already unconscious. This is just insane. The greatest 3-win streak in the sport by far. And it's going to be exciting what's next for Topuria. All these massive fights, all these massive matchups to be made for Topuria. Paddy Pimblett went in there and they had the face-off with Paddy Pimblett and Topuria. Obviously, there's a lot of... Topuria actually has hatred and anger towards Paddy Pimblett. So there's a real bad blood there that could fuel like a nice big fight. And he shoved him. He said hilarious. Topuria was talking that real stuff to Paddy Pimblett, unlike the Charles Oliveira press conference where it was kind of like respectful and tame. There wasn't too much excitement. That's what we need in the sport. We need the trash talk. We need that confident, just undefeated 2-division champion like a Conor McGregor who's going to... And that's exactly what that next fight would have with Paddy Pimblett. But Arman Tsarukyan also could be very... Justin Gaethje, get him out of the equation. Justin Gaethje stands no chance. No chance. Topuria's finishing Justin Gaethje. And honestly, I think he finishes Paddy Pimblett either. This power, we have not seen power like this. Topuria doesn't even need to use his ground game right now. He hasn't even needed to exercise his ground game or submission game. He has been... Just his power is on another level. Everyone that was concerned about him not translating with the power to 155, there you go. There you go. And it feels so good. It feels so good. It wasn't that hard to predict, but just to be right about it, that he finished him not in the second round, but the first round by KO. To see Charles Oliveira go down like that, incredible. Topuria is already has already put together one of the greatest resumes. He's definitely probably already a top 7 fighter of all time. We really need to see this Islam Makhachev fight down the line. I know that this could have happened now, but I mean, if this could still happen down the line, Islam said if the deal is right, he never says no. Maybe the UFC convinces him to move back down to fight Topuria to get back his lightweight title. Islam right now is alluding to fighting Jack Della Maddalena at MSG in October. Oh no, that's November, I think. So, but we need that fight. That is the biggest fight you can make. That is the biggest fight. 2 pound for pound of the best in their prime, young Topuria and Makhachev. I mean, Topuria's on another level. He's the next guy up to be the face. He's a superstar. He's got everything you want in a champion. And he just did that to another fan favorite like Charles Oliveira. This is KO's Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira like that. And it's opposed with the 2 belts. Insane. It gives off so much Conor McGregor vibes. And Topuria, unbelievable. Unbelievable, bro. That was crazy. I couldn't even, like, I was so, what just happened? Like, I couldn't even process that Topuria already did it in that quickly. Like, the fight was just happening and then it was over that fast. Poor Charles, bro. Honestly, I hate to say it, but Charles might have to retire after this. Like, what else is for him? What else is for Charles Oliveira? Legendary career, 35-11 now. You had another shot at the lightweight title, but you lost. You got KO'd in the first round. Where do you go from here for Charles Oliveira? Charles Oliveira is a fan favorite. It's tough, but man, like I said, Charles was just the next chapter for Topuria to go on to bigger things. This is just the build-up for Topuria to go on to bigger and better fights. Topuria's the next gen. So that's insane what just happened, bro. Incredible main event. Topuria finishes Charles Oliveira, continues his insane rise to being the overall, like, king of the UFC, bro. The final boss. And Alexandre Pantoja, Kai Kara France did not stand a chance. He did not stand a chance, bro. He went in there, did his whole crazy thing. He might have wasted more energy getting all upset and angry with a stare-off than what he actually used in the octagon, because Pantoja just ran all over him, controlled him, did his entire game plan, and then submits him in the third round. I knew it was just a matter of time before Pantoja found it, and Pantoja found it. Incredible. You could still make a case that Demetrius Johnson's the best flyweight of all time, but Pantoja is definitely the second best flyweight of all time. There's nobody else for Pantoja. Who else does Pantoja fight? Maybe Kopp again, if Kopp could get his act together and get back in there. But there's nobody else at flyweight for Pantoja. Don't tell me you're going to do Moreno again. All right, Josh Van, we'll get to him in a minute. Josh Van, I know Josh Van, I said he was too inexperienced. It was too big of a jump up for Brandon Royval. And Brandon Royval, you know what, I might as well just jump to this fight. But Brandon Royval could have won this fight. And in the end, he gave us, though, a very, he really decided to stand and give the fans what they wanted, a real slugfest, and ended up paying for it. But he was winning that fight. I'm saying Joshua Van's probably going to be fighting Pantoja next. But I just don't know. Joshua Van, Pantoja's not going to be as lenient with Van on the feet. He's not going to want to just stand and trade shots like what Royval did with Van. Pantoja's going to do the same exact thing as he just did to Kai Kara-France. He's going to run him on the ground and submit the 23-year-old. Pantoja, another just dominant win. One of the greatest flyweight champions. I think he passed Demetrius Johnson in flyweight wins, and Davison Figueiredo or something. I don't know, some stats, but I feel bad for Kai Kara-France, But yeah, who else is for Pantoja? Pantoja's in a league of his own. He's probably going to retire with this belt. He really should fight Merab if we're trying to get that, but whatever. And yeah, sick custom shorts on Pantoja. This guy should be definitely upgraded in the pound-for-pound rankings. Then we might as well get into this fight. Like I just mentioned, this fight was incredible. Incredible fight. One of the fight of the year so far. This is what UFC fights should be. Two guys just putting in a whole striking battle and war. Joshua Van, on 3 weeks' notice after his last win versus Bruno Silva, jumps up to fight the number one guy. And he's going in there and he's trading shots with Brandon Royval. They're standing and banging. Joshua Van is doing these quick combinations and they're both piecing each other up. It's super hard to score. It's just back and forth through all the rounds. I'm like, how are these guys still standing? How is nobody getting clipped to the point of being phased? These guys keep on tagging shots on each other. But Brandon Royval seemed to be more with an advantage because he has a longer reach, a little bit of a height advantage, and he was tagging up Joshua Van. But Joshua Van also crazy combinations. He's such a good boxer in the pocket, giving him some good body shots and then moving back to the head. And then the third round was insane. It gave me Max Holloway and Gaethje type vibes, and that's what the sport needs. We need these type of fights. Two guys willing to stand in there and actually trade shots and bang to the very last minute. And Brandon Royval and Joshua Van, and maybe Royval, if he would have played it smart, which a lot of fighters do in that last couple of minutes, he would have won that fight and probably earned himself another title shot. But Joshua Van, he's like, bring it. And him and Joshua Van, those final 20 seconds, were going. And Joshua Van clips Royval, and Royval falls. And then Joshua Van's looking for the finish, and then time runs out. But that might have won over. That was what ultimately decided the fight to go to Joshua Van. Joshua Van became a certified legend overnight. This guy is the definition of speed running. 23 years old. Taking fights every 2 months. Comes in on 3 weeks' notice against the number one guy and does that. And puts on one of the best fights we've seen in the last, 2 years. Joshua Van became a certified legend last night and just earned himself a title shot versus Pantoja. And why not? As I just mentioned, there's nobody else for Pantoja at the moment. So why not just do it? We're going to give Van over to Pantoja and see how that goes. But still, and I picked Royval, but sick by Joshua Van. Just became a certified legend overnight. Insane fight. Incredible fight. And yeah, it's just insane what Joshua Van is doing. To do that, come in there, 3 weeks notice, whatever. I don't got to repeat it. I keep on repeating things over and over again, but that's because it's so hype. But Dariush, damn, I told my friends to bet him Moicano, bro. Man, Moicano, very disappointing. Very disappointing. He had Dariush hurt in that first round with a knockdown. Dariush comes back, dominates Moicano for most of the second round and third round. Some ground control, some ground and pounds. Yeah, but Dariush is still here. He's still hanging around. Guess retirement is delayed for him by a bit. Renato Moicano's mouth is bigger than his, but Renato Moicano knows what's up. He's trying to just promote fights, promote the press conference. And yeah, it wasn't the most entertaining fight, kind of a boring fight, but Payton Talbott beats Felipe Lima. I was wrong about this too. I thought Lima would win, but honestly, I'm happy Payton Talbott won. Gets a lot of his credibility back. Maybe it was just a kind of a fluke win by Ronnie Barcelos, but Ronnie Barcelos honestly may be even better at jiu-jitsu, like ground game, than Felipe Lima. Felipe Lima is still a young prospect with much ahead of him. Payton Talbott needed this win, and he got it. He looked much more impressive in this win with his takedown defense and staying on his feet, staying away from being just completely dominated on the ground by Felipe Lima. And Payton Talbott was looking really sharp. He was looking a lot better than his last fight. And he won a very important win in his career. And this brings it a little bit back. This re-sparks a little bit of that talk about Payton Talbott being an up-and-coming, exciting bantamweight. Now just imagine in the future, Payton Talbott versus Malcolm Wellmaker. Now that would be, but you got to still build those guys up. Let them get into like the top 10 or whatever. Maybe they meet for a top 5 fight one day. Those guys are both studs in this bantamweight division. So Payton Talbott, I was honestly surprised. I thought the same kind of thing would happen, but he gets back there, gets a win. Payton Talbott's back in the win column, 10-1. Pretty sick, Payton Talbott. And the rest of this card was actually really good. Gregory Rodriguez KO finish on Jack Hermanson. Heavy shot in the first round. In like 26 seconds, Jose Miguel Delgado beats Hyder Hamel. Just quick knockout. Quick. So that was insane. Tracy Cortez gets the win by decision. And Terrence McKinney, this dude doesn't know what it means to go to decisions. Just submission this time. Not even a KO. Submits Vishlav Borshev. So Terrence McKinney is putting together a little bit of a win streak right now. This guy is a finisher. He finishes fights. He's entertaining. And then you had the 2 prelims. Jacoby Smith, pretty dominant win versus Nico Price. No surprises there. Was one of the biggest favorites we've ever seen. Apparently, people give him, like, Dana said that Cormier was giving, like, him Khabib comparisons. I mean, whatever. We'll see how this guy progresses in a stacked welterweight division. But Jacoby Smith gets the dominant win as an up-and-coming welterweight prospect. And then Juanita Diniz, unbelievable card, honestly. And just the way that it ended on the night with Topuria finishing Charles Oliveria like that. Topuria is in a league of his own. He's a superstar. He's just like incredible. The aura on this guy is on a whole new level. And I'm so excited for when Topuria is going to fight next. And yeah, insane.